What's going on, YouTubers, gamers and hobbyists, and welcome to Chill with Pete, the series where you have a coffee break with me. Together we have a coffee break. That said, I probably won't be drinking too much coffee today out of this right now because I've not long made it, and it's my R2-D2 mug. Keeps it insanely hot for insanely long. It's a stainless steel thermal mug. So yeah, keeping my hands warm. That's what it's doing. It's keeping my hands warm. But I'll try and keep an eye on the time so we don't, go on too long. So if you're new to this channel, if you are new to Mini Warzone, welcome. I do videos like this sometimes where I'm just talking to you. I've got some videos lined up that I need to do. I've got an Aliens expansion unboxing, which I'm quite excited to get done. I've got another science fiction codex that I want to have a look at. Maybe I might start a video on my Indomitus, my journey through the project. I'm not going to do an unboxing of that because, one, it's been done, and two, it's difficult to get hold of now. Well, it's not easy to get hold of, I would say. So, so that's a thing. It's lovely weather outside, but like I say, I'm hugging this to keep my hands off because it's a little bit on the chilly side still. If I'm honest, it's still a bit chilly. I've got one of my shelves ready and displaying some of the cool stuff I got for my birthday. You can't see it in there, but I can see it and I can look at it, and it's really cool. Excuse me, big yawn. Oh. Yeah, yawning's a thing. That's the thing. When you got MS, you yawn a lot. You have to edit them out. So, I've had another interview today. Oh, I've had an interview. Yeah. I think I'm starting to get the... I won't say it went well or it didn't go well. It just went. But I'm starting to get the hang of the whole, the video thing. Click on and wait and, blah, blah, blah. Set your camera up, all that bagumphry. It's kind of a routine you get now, isn't it? It's right, okay, we do this, and this. All right, off we go, and there we are. Be interesting to have a video out here one day, an interview where I could feel at my most comfortable, my absolute most comfortable. Then I could say, I wouldn't bother blurring the background or putting a different background behind me, because you could do that on Teams. I'd probably leave it like this, and when they asked her, "Oh, what's all that in your background there?" Were quite interesting, and I would say, "Yes, I'm in my studio, my purpose-built studio for my hobby." I will say though, doing YouTube videos definitely helps when it comes to video interviews. I'm going to lower my camera slightly. There we go. Don't want too much of a gap above my head. Don't know I needed to do that twice, but I just did. Yeah. So if you are new to Mini Warzone, I do these occasionally. This type of thing. It's a bit of a catch-up. It's literally a coffee break. It initially started out as a video series I did, so I could just make a video from the comfort of my bed when I was bedridden. I couldn't really get up. I couldn't do any hobby, but I could at least talk about it, right? And that's a really big thing when you can't do something. At least you could talk about it. It's like I can't climb Mount Everest, but I can talk about it. Yeah, it must be difficult, cold, yeah, and hard. Yeah, so although it needs tidying up out here, and seriously it does. I made a couple of changes. I haven't implemented them yet, but I'm thinking my tutorials, because I was going to do them in the manner the same way Warhammer TV do this. I did one like that. Don't know how successful that was or not. I quite like doing them on my bench though, but at the moment I'm ploughing through my sister's squad, Battle Sisters, as you may know. they're starting to come together. I think they're starting to come together. They're looking very good now. I think although they're not finished, yeah, I could base them and play with them, I think, and I'd be, fairly okay with it. But I've got a long way to go yet, as you will see if you stick with it, particularly on the bench series. My on the bench series, if you'd like paint-alongs, On the Bench with Pete is the series you put on in the background. That is the ultimate paint-along video, and I talk about life, the universe, and everything on those, and I can do that pretty much on these videos too. However, there it's for an hour or thereabouts. Depends with the editing. Sometimes it can be way shorter. Sometimes it is about an hour. Sometimes it's still longer than an hour. It's difficult to ascertain what level, but I aim for about an hour. That's my aim. So, as I was saying about my interview, I can't say whether it went well or it didn't go well, but I feel like I'm getting more comfortable with the whole format of a video interview now. So my interview, it was with the Devon and Cornwall Police, and it's for an administrative role in a team supporting an operation, one of their largest operations to date. So they need more people. I think they're taking on about 15 people across Plymouth and Exeter in various locations. But there is also another thing which is attractive about the role, is there is the ability to work from home. Oh yes, that's a huge bonus. And so even if I don't get it, I've kind of learnt things from today. Every time you stumble across something which you think, which I used to think, oh, I failed at that. So if I hear back and I don't get this role, in the old days I would have said, oh, failure, I failed it. But no, I've got to think to myself, what is the universe telling me? What am I learning? What have I learnt from this experience? And there's always something, no matter how small or trivial it may seem, and that could mean the difference in the future between you getting a job or not getting a job. It's really tough now in the climate with a lot of people being out of work and looking for work, and the digital age has more or less, it hasn't crept up on us. It's leapt at us. It's leapt at us from the shadows and overtaking us now. It's like you've got to acknowledge us, from this point forward. So it's all digital. A lot of companies now are working remotely, and it is still my dream to one day work for myself in a capacity, no matter how small, within a hobby I love, whether that's doing tutorials, designing games, writing books. I don't know. When I started out the channel initially, I was still at the process. I started out as a trader, which I'm very glad I didn't do now, because I would have had to have, mind you, I would say I would have had to have set up shop, but I wouldn't really, would I? I would have had to have established a larger online presence, which, a lot of great companies, companies do it now. So, Games Workshop have they always had an exceptional customer service anyway, and they knew the realms of digital marketing. They were way ahead. They're way ahead of a lot of people. Their stuff's being updated constantly, especially in terms of their website and so on. And a lot of companies have done that with their websites and their online stores and shops, and they've really invested heavily into their websites and things. And I think that will pay off for them. I really do. Those companies that survive the turmoil of the last year, and possibly this year and the next year, who knows, or how long it's going to go on for, those companies that survive are going to really do well, I think. A lot of people have come into our hobby now during this whole episode. I'm not even going to acknowledge it, but you know what I'm talking about. They've come into this hobby, and one of my newer patrons who contacted me and said he got into the hobby of miniature painting during this He That Shall Not Be Named, or That Which Shall Not Be Named. He got into the hobby of miniature painting, so, you know, welcome him on board, and it's great. And I don't think he's alone. You know, a lot of people have come to this because they found themselves at home, a lot of time on their hands. Perhaps this was something they just enjoyed in the background before, or perhaps it was something they were always going to get into, perhaps when they retired or semi-retired. Who knows? For whatever reason, they've got all this time on their hands now and an opportunity to do this wonderful hobby. So, yeah. So there's a thing. My new patron scrolling thing will go up. Actually, I'll put it up now as I draw this video to a close because I don't want it to be too much longer. So as you can see, the patrons are going up the screen. Really big thank you to all of you. You are helping me to keep this channel going. Literally keeps the lights on in here. Literally keeps the lights on in here. And sometimes the fire, if it gets too cold, I can put another lump of coal on the fire. Anyway, I'm getting out of here before it gets too crazy. I'll catch you on another. Remember, all brushes lead to war. See you on the next video. Please like or dislike or whatever. Do something. Bye for now. Bye bye.